We just saw some deer.
I thought I wouldn't make any rookie mistakes, since this will be my 14 200km ride so far. But today, on a ride with so many other riders, I found myself making the most basic mistake. Meanwhile, I start to get worried because I don't see anyone on my 25km ride to the start point. But that's because everyone is really early and ready to roll from JB Shell. I've registered under WCR, a fantastic group and huge supporter of Audax rides. E, one of the WCR riders, even prepared drinks, snacks and breakfast, so we'd have a great start to a long day. This particular Audax ride is free for women because of International Women's Day. For the rest of this vlog, I'm going to share my views on 3 things. Why do people spend hour upon hour pushing forward on 2 wheels? What's the hardest part about long distance cycling? And what's surprisingly easy about it? I'll talk about these and also share how I train and pace for such rides. It's been exactly 3 years since my very first Audax ride. Back then, the 200 and 300km distances were free for women. So in the span of 2 weekends, I did my first ever 200km ride and then my first ever 300km ride solo. For today's huge ride, there are nearly 100 riders, 62 men, 30 women. Okay, so why would anyone do this to themselves? Well, the greater the suffering, the sweeter the satisfaction. Many riders also crave a challenge physically and mentally. In fact, the longer the distance, the more of a mental challenge it is. Another thing I recently realized, there are some riders who are actually relatively better at endurance events compared to shorter burst rides. Long rides are their time to shine. Okay, for those who say that we're hogging the road, please understand that for rider safety before sunrise and to clear everyone ASAP instead of having one long-ass line, it's better to ride like this while we can. The hardest part of such long rides is that you have to wake up before 3:30 AM to minimize exposure to sun and traffic. The easiest part or the least hard part is the KMs you can cover before it gets hot. For example, we planned 0 stops for the first 79km. Once the sun comes up, we'll stop more frequently, maybe every 40 to 50km. Petrol stations serve as refuel and bathroom stops. But this is also where our group further splits into 2, because some of the riders left the refuel point really quickly, whereas most of us took our sweet time getting back on the road. Before we talk about my approach to long rides, let's take a look at what we've covered since leaving JB Shell. We went from here, through here, and are right now here. Sometimes there are territorial doggies who try to chase passing cyclists. A and his bike went down, but there's lots of help to go around. All these experienced riders bring along first aid kits for such scrapes. Besides A's body, his bike also needs some fixing to reset the electronic shifting. Luckily, all is good, otherwise he'd have to call for a taxi to bring him back to the border. That's what I had to do when I crashed in 2002. We're not even halfway done, but let's talk about my approach to lasting long. The number one most important thing is pacing. Here's what I mean. Always conserve energy, especially at the start when you feel the freshest. Do not be tempted to go harder than needed. Keep your pace as steady as possible. Don't keep surging and then falling back. Aim to hold what you comfortably can. By the way, these pacing principles apply whether you're in a group or riding solo. Food and drink is also essential fuel since you're burning calories with every mile. It is now 10 AM and I've been cycling since 6.5 hours ago. As the day wears on, the pack spreads thinner. Brain cells get slimmer, and soon I'll make a big mistake. Never ever do this. I missed the second refuel point and decided not to backtrack for it because I thought there would be petrol stops on the way back. Nope, there were no more stops. With every minute, my muscles are getting more dehydrated. My brain is drying up too, and I wonder, can I get heat stroke like this? We're done, but at what cost? For the last 40 km, it was Jackie and myself swapping turns. He saved me with strong pulls and with water from his bidon when I surrendered at the end. Anyway, that's a mistake I'll never make again. Though it did make the canned drinks at the end taste extra super sweet.